Hi everyone. I am here to talk about my research project. I feel like we've been working on it for so many months, so I feel like I've gotten a really good thought process on what's going on. So let's start with the question. My research question was, are worksheets in kindergarten and younger classrooms developmentally appropriate? If not, or if so, what other teaching methods would actually be more effective in an early years classroom? I did a double part in my question, especially because I was not in a classroom this year. It was actually something really big that took out the action part of the research plan. So instead of just answering the question, are they developmentally appropriate? I wanted to also push forward and find out through research what is developmentally appropriate for this age group. So what I learned from my literature review, um, when reading through the blogs, the articles, the journals, the books, something that I didn't realize was I thought the argument about worksheets in the classroom being something that might not be appropriate for young children, I thought it was a new argument. I thought that in the past 10 years, people were starting to see the error of using large quantities of worksheets in their classroom. But as it turns out, I found multiple articles going all the way back to the 60s where teachers, over the course of observation, they had been watching teachers and they didn't like the fact that they were using reproducibles in their classroom, which is what today we call worksheets. They felt that the kids weren't learning as much as they used to when everything was hands-on. That was one of the most interesting things I learned from my literature review that I didn't realize before. This has been an ongoing battle in the education field. Um, how did I go about investigating my question? Because mine was research based, it was mostly done on the computer and through personal experience. Now, I will say that my personal experience was very extreme. I had a school where we had a no worksheet policy. Not a single worksheet could be placed in front of our children. It pushed us as educators. It pushed us as people. We had to become these amazing prep people for all hands on. It was an incredible experience. However, the following school that I went to teach was the opposite of a no worksheet policy. Pretty much all curriculum was given in the form of a worksheet. And when I say a worksheet, I mean a packet of worksheets. It could have been between 2 and 4 worksheets per subject per day. So a lot of what I took from was a population at an American International School in Saudi Arabia, a pre-K4 class, and Chinese population at an American International School in a kindergarten class. So those are the two that I am comparing in my paper. Um, as for as for the challenges that I have crossed, I've already mentioned that I wasn't in a classroom. Um, but on top of that, I think that this is an amazing theory to actually try and practice in a classroom just to see a comparison. Maybe take a unit that you have to do, and for half of it, maybe the first half have some goals, do it via worksheet. And for the second half, maybe have similar goals, but try to challenge yourself to not use worksheets and see on the other end which was the most effective or which one the children had more joy in, because their mental capacity for joy in the classroom is one of our top priorities. If we're giving them mind-numbing worksheets all the time, it's not really helping them develop a love for learning. So that was my overall analysis um, for the research paper. What I discovered was almost overwhelmingly worksheets are not a developmentally appropriate practice for young children. Now, I know that our early years certification goes all the way up to third grade. And in third grade, they are appropriate because they're on a level where they can learn and execute and do everything they need to do with worksheets. However, in a pre-kinder classroom, and possibly even moving into a kindergarten classroom, they are not what stimulates a child's brain. They show little to no effect in some cases, or in others, they're effective for standardized testing because they have very specific skill sets, but these children have burnout. and they're bored and they don't really want to be in school and they're not enjoying that investigation or they're not enjoying what they're learning. So my overall view is worksheets, not so great. On the other hand, best teaching practices that I was able to research. I found that games in math classes were extremely effective. Um, Hands-on learning approaches in science, especially because they can do those hands-on experiments and not just labeling an apple. They could actually touch an apple, feel an apple, taste an apple, and then have a discussion about the apple and what they found to be the different parts of it. Different comparisons like that. Hands-on, games, group work. If students can choose their own project and then work with a small group of peers to create something amazing, they are going to learn and hold that with them for a much longer time. Overall, I basically saw that most methods that don't include worksheets and do include communication, hands-on learning, and investigation, those are the main qualities and the main methods that are the most effective in early years classrooms. Next steps. Following this, I would plan on actually executing this research project in my classroom. Now, at this point, I am in a kindergarten class. I started this past week, and I would love to sit with these kids and maybe do two differing science lessons, one with worksheets, one without, and at the end of it, see which one they can describe more during a classroom discussion. What did they learn more about? And what did they want to learn more about? So those would be my next steps, just to have an actual physical representation of what this research did and really seeing how it works with the kids. This was an amazing research topic because I feel like it really helped me as a teacher. It helped show me that it's okay to use worksheets, but they need to be used sparingly and they need to be used possibly in just an emergency situation when you have a substitute unexpectedly, or if you have a special holiday day coming up and you're like, oh man, we need to learn about this peace day very quickly, and you pull out some worksheets just so you can learn about it. But it's always, always good to find other ways to communicate with your kids. Sit, talk, let the kids talk to each other, let the kids work on things with their hands, math manipulatives. All of that is going to be so much more effective in an early childhood classroom. And that was my final results of my research project. Thank you.